Welcome back to my channel where today we explore the world of magic and mayhem. In today's video, we bring you an intense confrontation between two powerful women, Ava and Lady Morvayne. Watch as Ava discovers a hidden power within herself and vows to use it to defeat Lady Morvayne. The scene opens with Ava had been casing Lady Morvayne's palace for weeks, and tonight was the night to strike. She has come to steal something of great importance, something that Lady Morvayne has guarded with her life. She successfully bypassed the lock and slipped inside the treasure room where she found a small amulet. However, as she picked it up, she felt a sudden surge of power that coursed through her body. A black mist rose up from the amulet and coiled around her, enveloping her in darkness. She was possessed by a shadowy presence that seemed to be trying to take control of her body. Ava stumbled out of the treasure room and into the main hallway of the palace. She could hear Lady Morvayne's guards shouting and running towards her, but she felt detached, as if the shadow was shielding her from harm. She summoned a bolt of dark energy that blasted the guards away and fled into the night, knowing Lady Morvayne would stop at nothing to recapture her. Ava found a group of rebels who were fighting against Lady Morvayne's oppressive rule, and she proved her worth as a fighter and strategist with the Shadow's power at her command. As she worked alongside the rebels, Ava began to feel a sense of belonging that she had never experienced before. She spent many sleepless nights searching for a way to rid herself of the Shadow's influence, and finally found a ritual that required a sacrifice of great power. Ava presented her plan to the rebels, and they agreed to help her. The night of the ritual arrived, and Ava stood in the center of a circle of candles, holding the amulet aloft. The shadow roiled within her, but Ava stood firm, determined to see the ritual through. As she spoke the words of the ritual, the amulet began to glow with a dark energy, and the shadow surged forward. It consumed the power within the amulet, tearing itself from Ava's body, leaving her drained and weak. However, as the last remnants of the ritual faded away, Ava saw a figure standing in the shadows, watching her with cold eyes. It was Lady Morvayne. Ava realized the rebels had betrayed her and sold her out to Lady Morvayne in exchange for their own safety. Lady Morvayne approached her, and Ava tried to fight back, but she was still weak from the ritual. Lady Morvayne's guards closed in on her, and before Ava could even raise her arms to defend herself, they had seized her and bound her tightly in chains. Lady Morvayne approached her, a look of triumph on her face.
You thought you could steal from me and get away with it? You thought you could hide behind your little rebel friends and defy me? Well, now you'll pay the price for your arrogance.
Ava struggled against her bonds, but they held fast. Lady Morvayne motioned to her guards, and they dragged Ava away, deep into the bowels of the palace. As they descended deeper into the palace, Ava could feel a sense of dread growing within her. She didn't know what Lady Morvayne had planned for her, but she knew it couldn't be good. She closed her eyes and tried to steady her breathing, preparing herself for whatever was to come. Finally, they reached a large, dimly lit chamber, filled with strange contraptions and arcane symbols etched into the walls. In the center of the room, there was a massive stone altar, stained with what looked like dried blood. Lady Morvayne approached the altar, and Ava was dragged along behind her. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, and she tried to muster up the courage to speak. "What are you going to do to me?" she managed to choke out. Lady Morvayne turned to her. With a wicked smile on her face, she said,
Oh, my dear. You have no idea what power you possess. But don't worry, you'll soon find out.
She motioned to her guards, and they forced Ava onto the altar, pinning her down with their weight. Lady Morvayne produced a gleaming silver knife from her robes and approached Ava, her eyes glittering with malice. She whispered, "Don't worry, my dear, this won't hurt a bit, at first." She raised the knife high into the air, and Ava closed her eyes, bracing herself for the pain that was to come. But just as the knife was about to strike, there was a sudden explosion of sound and light that filled the chamber. The guards were thrown back, tumbling across the floor, and Lady Morvayne was knocked off her feet. Ava felt a surge of energy coursing through her, and she knew that it was the shadow come to her aid. With a cry of triumph, she broke free of her bonds and leapt off the altar, her body glowing with dark energy. Lady Morvayne tried to stand, but Ava blasted her with a bolt of dark magic, sending her flying across the room and crashing into a wall. Ava turned to her guards, who were now cowering in fear. With a wave of her hand, she sent them scurrying away, leaving her alone with Lady Morvayne.
You don't know what you're dealing with. You think you can control me? You're wrong. The shadow is mine now, and I'll use its power to destroy you.
With that, she stalked out of the chamber, leaving Lady Morvayne lying crumpled on the floor. Ava knew that she had won this round, but she also knew that the battle was far from over. The shadow was a dangerous and unpredictable force, and she would need all her wits about her if she hoped to control it. As Ava made her way out of the palace, she could feel the shadow's power coursing through her, urging her to embrace its darkness. She knew she had to be careful, that the shadow could easily consume her if she let her guard down. As she walked through the streets, she saw the faces of the people she had fought for, the rebels who had betrayed her. She felt a sense of betrayal and anger, but she knew that she couldn't let it consume her. She found solace in the darkness, in the shadow's power that she wielded. She knew that she could use it to protect the people of the city, to fight against Lady Morvayne's oppression. But as she walked, she felt a presence watching her, a sense of unease that made her skin crawl. She turned around, scanning the shadows for any sign of danger, and then she saw him. He was tall and lean, with piercing green eyes and a wicked smile. He was dressed in dark robes, his hair long and wild.
Who are you?
Ava demanded.
I'm a friend. I've been watching you, Ava, and I'm impressed. You have a power that few possess, a power that could change the course of history. I want to help you, to guide you.
Ava was wary, but she knew that she needed all the help she could get. She nodded, and the man stepped forward, his hand outstretched.
My name is Malachi. And together, we can make Lady Morvayne pay for what she's done.
Ava took his hand, and she felt a jolt of energy pass between them. She knew that Malachi was dangerous, that he was playing a dangerous game. But she also knew that she needed his help if she was going to succeed. Together, they disappeared into the shadows, ready to take on Lady Morvayne and her armies. Ava knew that the road ahead would be long and perilous, but she was ready for whatever lay ahead. With Malachi by her side, she felt unstoppable. And that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this thrilling confrontation between Ava and Lady Morvayne. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more exciting content like this. Until next time, keep believing in the power of magic.